Hi class, my name is Cindy and today I'm going to be doing my presentation on minimum wages. And some might ask what is minimum wages? And minimum wages is the lowest wages an employee can legally pay their employers. And the purpose of them is to stop employers from overworking or underpaying desperate workers. And the minimum wage should provide enough income to afford a living wage, and the amount needed should be enough to provide food, clothing, and shelter. Let's see. So let's do a little history about minimum wages. So most countries introduced minimum wages legis- legislation by the end of the 20th century. Fair Labor Standards Act set the first U.S. minimum wages in 1938, and President Franklin D. Roosevelt passed a act as part of the New Deal to protect workers during the Great Depression. In 1961, Congress amended the act to include workers in retail and service companies, local transportation, construction, gas stations, employees, and years after that, the FLSA included state, local government employees, along with more workers in service industries such as laundries, hotels, and farms. And the minimum wages act increases. So before July 24th, 2007, the minimum wage was $5.15 per hour. And July 24th, 2007, minimum wages was $5.85 per hour. July 24th, 2008, minimum wages was $6.55 per hour. And July 24th, 2009, minimum wages had rose up to $7.25 per hour. And in 2014, when President Obama was president, he called for an increase for $10.10 per hour. So raising the minimum wages did help a lot. And right now, they're working on getting minimum wages up to $15 per hour by 2025, which some places have already taken effect of using the $15 per hour minimum wages. And it would take 1.3 million people out of poverty, and it would cost some people 1.3 million workers to lose their jobs. And some of the pros of the minimum wages would be workers can cover the cost of living. It reduces income inequality while providing an incentive to work. Excuse me. And minimum wages would spur economic growth. And some of the cons of minimum wages would be that it is an unfunded mandate that falls on businesses' shoulders, and minimum wages laws raise business labor costs, and also minimum wages could raise the cost of living in some areas. And when we talk about the cost of living is determined by, like, when the prices of food go up, clothing go up, and shelter go up. And also, some people really don't understand the differences between a lot of those things. And also, Like, for instance, between the pros and the cons, we have found, well, I have found that the pros only outweigh the cons if the minimum wage isn't too high. So, with that being said, we also have where a lot of people don't understand the difference or can't determine the difference between a pay raise and a pay increase. Therefore, going forth explaining this, if you are receiving a pay increase is what's supposed to be based off the cost of living, which is the food, the clothing, and the shelter. And a pay raise is normally based off a pay raise for what you do at your job, like your job performance. And I know, here's my example. Like, for instance, I work for the school district. So we just recently received a pay increase where everybody within the school district received the increase in pay so that we could catch up with the other surrounding schools within so many miles of us, because they were getting paid way more than we were. And a lot of people started complaining, and so they finally gave us our pay increase. But I have found that they still have not given us our pay raises, which is based off our job performances. So now that's another thing that we have going right now through the school district. Like, when are we going to get our pay raise based off our job performances? Because I know some of us are really great workers. All of us really are really great workers, but some might be better than others. And, people want to see their pay raises versus their pay increases. I mean, because a pay increase is good when it comes to um, basing it off the cost of living in some areas, and people want to see their pay increase when it comes to them doing their job at work. So, with that being said, I just gave you a little about minimum wages, about the increases and what they're based off of as far as pay raises and pay increases. And thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please go to our discussion board. And I am so nervous. Sorry. Thank you. Bye.